Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods. Glasses on today, so also rear view mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D.
All right, let's dive right into it. So, back by popular demand, your favorite, that's right, Tiny Desk.
Tiny Desk is not my favorite. I don't know why you put that on me. I can't just like something I see. It has to be my favorite or, oh, this is your show. It's like, I never said that.
I know I'm projecting because it's not my favorite.
Yeah, I
I
never said that.
know. I'm just being a just being a bastard. That's all.
Hmm.
All right. Well, Doechii did. I almost said Dreamville Fest. Doechii did Tiny Desk,
She sure did.
and it's only been out like 4 days at the time we're recording this, and it's at already very close to 2 million views. It's 23 minutes long, and we saw it. So since you're drinking water, I'll start. Uh, the f- oh, did you want to start?
Such a daunting task, drinking water.
I was just trying to be courteous. I was
No,
trying to let you drink
please,
all the water you might need.
please start.
So,
Please, go for it.
all right.
Fellas first.
Fellas first. And that's a shirt. Anyway, um, all right, listen. I thought that it was very aesthetically pleasing. I thought we have to start there.
It
Everybody
wasn't.
had,
It wasn't so aesthetic like the kids say.
I didn't even know they said that, but
Yeah, that's what they say. They say that's so aesthetic. They think aesthetic
um,
is the thing. They don't realize that anesthetic is multiple things.
yep, that's interesting.
It's very sad. Sorry.
The truth is, there ain't no hope for the future. Nah, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we had to teach those kids that aesthetic does mean something, even though y'all want so badly for it to be like white walls and a cream couch. But anyway.
Listen, everybody was there in their schoolgirl outfits with their
Yeah.
braids, with their beads,
Mm-hmm.
looking good. It was very cool to see all of the women in uniform and also an entire black woman ensemble. That was beautiful. There was every shade, every color of black, and they were all women. And
Yep.
that was really cool. Um, and they were also what I think is a wide range of ages. Because some of them I was like, you look kind of young, and other people was like, definitely grandma. So that was cool. What? Why you
You
make
don't
that
know that
face?
for sure? Oh my god.
I mean, grandma just means you're 36 today.
Okay.
Anywho, so that's where I would like to start.
Please.
Um, you want to jump in, or should I continue to go?
Yeah, so I think that was my favorite part. I think we know by now that Doechii will deliver, so I wasn't too worried about that. Um, but I loved what she chose to do with the set she had. I loved the braids. I loved that they all kind of coordinated with the schoolgirl outfits. I love that it was very black girl centered.
Yep.
Um, I mean, Dochi's a dark skinned black girl, so to to be able to command a stage, if you will, that's so popular and so widespread across the internet, and to have the space to sit in her blackness and exist in her blackness and just exude all of the black girl that she has in her. It's we don't see that often. You know, I as a black girl, it moved me. It did. I felt like, wow. And again, to your point, different sizes, different shades,
Right.
showing that we are not one person. We don't look like one specific thing. I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was she's very, as the kids would say, she's very black girl coded. Like everything that she does is very intentional. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, maybe it's not for you.
Right.
And I love that. So yeah, just I mean, an all women band and all women background singers, icing on the cake, and they were phenomenal.
Right.
Just to just go ahead and say that they were fantastic.
I agree. I'm trying to find a point in the. It doesn't give me the chapters of the songs. Maybe because it's still too new, or maybe they opted out of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to reference something, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where. I'm not sure what song it is. Anyway, I guess I'll just explain. Yeah, to respond to what you said, I totally agree. It was beautiful to see that. Uh, I feel like the only thing I want to say, which had nothing to do with Doechii, was, is it me or were they showing the light skinned person way too much at one point? Shorty on the guitar, who was very into it, it felt like at one point to me, they just kept showing her, and I was like, why do they keep doing that?
I'm not sure. I had it on while I was working.
Okay.
So I may
I made
have
sure to sit and watch this one.
Yeah, and I was watching it, just to be clear. I wasn't just listening, but I may not have caught the consistency of something like that
Got you.
from the way I was watching. So I'm happy to go back and look at that. But yeah, I'm not sure.
I got you.
To that.
Doechii put on a great performance. She incorporated the DJ who was her hype person. There were times when you could see that this was very well rehearsed and very well put together. There were dance breaks. There were parts where she just jammed out for a minute while the chorus took over. It was a great performance. You could tell Doechii loves putting on a performance, and that was evident here. Now I'm gonna say something the opposite of what I normally say, and I want to be clear. I'm not saying this because of hate. I enjoyed the full performance, but I think at one point it was like the peak of the show, the climax of the show, but then the show kept going. I think that point is something like 13, 14 minutes in. I think that should have been the end of the show. It's cool that she kept going. I think it was very purposeful how she ended the show, and that was a beautiful song. But I just felt like at that point, we didn't need more Doechii. I feel like I'm happy to get it. I'm a fan. But if we're just simply talking about the show itself, I feel like you hit the height of the show and then kept going. And the show kind of started taking a downhill in energy. And maybe that was on purpose because a couple of the songs towards the end were more melodic. They were softer. And perhaps that was her way of showing balance. I don't know. I didn't speak to her. We didn't get a chance to chat before the pod today. But I kind of wish it ended on the high note. That's my only criticism of the show. A lot of times they're 12 minutes and you feel like, man, I wish I saw more. That's usually my complaint, that they let the good artists go for a short time period and we want more, and they should let them rock out longer instead of random artists. They let Doechii go longer, and I wish it ended at that high point because then I would constantly rewatch it. And for me personally, I don't think I'm going to rewatch this in its entirety because it took a very unique, a very clear dip after a certain point. Again, maybe I'm ODing and that was her way of showing balance. I just feel like we were all the way up and it was great. And then you slowly brought us down and ended it on a really cool note.
Yeah.
But I was like jamming and then it ended and it was an abrupt stop. And so that's my only criticism. She killed it. Her breath control is phenomenal. Man, it's like the way she was flowing and going in certain pockets with, like, honestly, effortlessly. I was very impressed by that. She absolutely killed it. And so even my criticism, to be clear, is not to hate on Doechii. It's just a personal preference. I just want to be clear because I know how these things go on the internet.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
I love that she can sing and rap.
Actually sing. Yep.
That's my favorite thing about her, I think, that she can sing and rap.
Mm-hmm.
And she can do it very seamlessly from one moment to the next.
Mm-hmm.
We know some people who can sing and rap, but I don't.
They can harmonize and rap. There's a clear distinction, and I think people don't understand that.
No, there is a clear distinction. I'm not speaking about like the Drakes and Futures of the world. I'm speaking about female artists who actually can do both. So we know some of those people. I'm not gonna list them, but we they exist. There's not a lot, but they exist.
Okay.
I feel like this is the first time I've seen where it just seems like it's like buttery smooth. It just goes from one to the next, and she doesn't have a challenge with it. She's not like fighting to get out of one character and get into another, if you
I think
will.
it's because she is the opposite of those people you're mentioning. The people you're mentioning rapped first and kind of learned to sing. Doechii said in an interview that she started as a singer and a dancer and later became a rapper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that she did a great job with that. I mean, I think she's super talented. I appreciate what she brings to the table in terms of that animated way of, like, she's a performer.
Yep.
She's charismatic. She just has this way about her where she engages you. She pulls you in.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just rapping or singing, but she's telling you a story. She's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
She's drawing you in. She's making you a part of of what she's doing. Just even by having call and response in her songs, where that, like, there's another voice that she's speaking to. I just think that there's not a whole lot of that out there right now. I think she's just so unique. Is what I'm trying to say. That's not a knock to anybody else. I just think her style is so unique that and I'm not gonna say any man's name right now, even though I could, but I think there's a way about her that we could even think of at least one person who can take us on a roller coaster ride, um can give us good story, and
Mm-hmm.
can not only tell the story but be able to illustrate the story with the intonation of their voice, with the cadence of their words. Just like that is a skill that is very hard to match.
Yeah, because she
um
studied that person. That person is her favorite artist, and she
Very
says
obvious.
publicly, I have studied this person. I look up to this person. I
Right.
really feel they're the best and I want to be like them. And it's clear.
Right. And the only reason I'm not saying it is because we talk so much about all those other guys that I just want to give her her moment for us to talk about her on her own. But yeah, I thought it was great. I there's only one Tiny Desk that I rewatched, so no, I don't think I would watch it again. But that's not exactly. That's not in offense to anybody else. I just only watch one. That's it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Understood.
hmm
All right. So no criticisms, just hating ass JD. I got you.
Criticisms? No, I didn't really have any criticisms. I listen. I think the beauty of Tiny Desk is that it's it, you only have 15 to 25 minutes, which means you either gonna come correct and not fuck it up, or you gonna fuck it up.
Got you.
And I'm not saying everybody goes there and it's effortless and seamless and all of that. I didn't really have anything bad to say. I feel like if it was longer, I probably would have found, some flaws. But 23 minutes is a solid amount of time to get in there, do what you came to do, and get out with minimal damage.
Got you. All right. Well, speaking of getting out, um, looks like Dreamville and J. Cole are getting out of the festival game. A post went up from Dreamville that says, the fifth and final Dreamville Fest will be happening April 5th and 6th in North Carolina. The picture says fifth and final, and it says the last Dreamville Fest. Thank you, North Carolina. Then the quote goes on to say, "Thank you, North Carolina. Thank you to everyone who's traveled from all over the last 4 years to enjoy our little family reunion. This festival is something a lot of people have been working very hard to bring you, and it's honestly been a dream come true to seeing the impact." It says, "What a ride it's been. We can't thank y'all enough for all the memories we've shared."
I wonder why it's ending.
I mean, I don't have any insider information, but I think it's over for festivals. I think it's hard for, yeah, I think it's hard for festivals to continue. I think that the money is drying up. And I think it's hard to keep getting these big acts to come and do these festivals with other big acts. We've heard people beefing over the font size. We've heard people beefing about where they are in the lineup. We've heard people flake at the last minute and not perform, and now they got to scramble and find another headliner. I think it's hard to keep doing a festival year in and year out. And whether it's a traveling one or not, I think this is something that we're seeing a lot. We saw Made in America tour, Made in America festival is over. There are other smaller ones that are kind of over. I think it's something that is hard to do in the long term for multiple reasons. And I also think it's sad. Yeah, there are staples, right? There are some where we know this is not going anywhere, or as it seems like this one is in good standing and it's not going anywhere. But we've also seen quite a few disappear. I think festivals are really cool and a really cool experience. And so it's sad that we're seeing them slowly drizzle away, fizzle away, excuse me. But yeah, I've never been to Dreamville Fest. So I can't really speak about them specifically. The footage I have seen looks like it's awesome. And yeah, I don't know the financial reason or maybe logistical reasons that they're shutting down, but my take is that we're not going to see too many more festivals. That we will continue to see festivals diminish and go away.
Part of it might be, and this is just a thought I'm having, is festivals that are more local, like it's more centralized. Maybe those probably perform better.
No, but that's what Dreamville Fest is. It doesn't travel. It's only in North Carolina.
No, I'm not saying it travels. I'm saying they said people travel to go to this festival. I know plenty of people from New York who have traveled to go to Dreamville Fest.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just wonder if that's part of it. Like that long term is not sustainable, and if the local city that you're doing it in is not necessarily buying into it in the way that other people are, or um, in a way that is lucrative for the city, uh, that could, that could have its effect as well. Um, I guess I've never really thought about the future of festivals until now, until you said what you said. But I can understand everything that you're saying. I am curious to see how things go because you have like Rolling Loud, that's like a bunch of different cities. You have I can't think of all of them right now, but also there you hit the nail on the head when you said these big acts can't, like it's not easy for big acts to participate in these festivals um, for whatever the reason is, financial reasons, whatever. I think the thing that keeps some of these festivals alive is new artists. Um, but if that's not the draw anymore, or if all the artists on your roster are seasoned artists, that could absolutely make it harder. I don't know if that's the situation with Dreamville. I don't know everybody who's signed to Dreamville, but we know the big ones, right? And if they're now too big or busy or whatever for it to make sense, I get it. Um, I think, but I think the longevity of festivals uh, lies with new artists. I think that's the only way it works long term. And people don't always want that. I've been to festivals and I've been like, I just want to see the person I want to see,
Right.
you know? But I've also been to festivals and felt like I learned new music while I was there.
Right.
But you don't always feel that way. Sometimes you just want to go see the thing that you want to see, but then someone would argue maybe then just go to a concert
Right.
instead of going to a festival. So I understand. Dreamville Fest always looked cool to me. It looks like people have a lot of fun. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna get down to North Carolina in April, but I feel like that would be a fun little weekend to check out Dreamville Fest. I'm sure it's gonna be crazy considering it's the last one. Once people know that, I'm sure people are gonna flock over there. But so festivals. You think Coachella's gonna die?
I think the big staples have brand deals and partnerships that allow them to continue to thrive and sustain.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily the case for all of the other ones. I do want to respond to your earlier point about the city and people coming from outside. You said it would be hard to do a festival if mostly people are coming from outside, but wouldn't that help the city? Like New York thrives because of tourism, for example. So if millions of people, I don't know how many people attend Dreamville Fest, but let's just say thousands of people are coming from around the world to come to this event. That's what happens when your co-host doesn't put their phone on Do Not Disturb.
You just had to tell.
Because we here laughing, we can't just keep laughing in secrecy. We gotta bring them in a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, um, I was curious. Doesn't it make the city more money? Doesn't it help the city if thousands of people are coming? Even hundreds, if hundreds of people are coming. If 900 people came every year for Dreamville Fest from all over the world, doesn't that help the city, their tourism, their economics, etc.?
Absolutely. What I was pointing towards is more that when you don't have locals buy into what you're doing, you might receive pushback. Um, so maybe the way I said it, in hindsight, maybe the way I said it wasn't the right way to say it. But I think what you run into when locals don't buy into things like that is they don't they don't want they don't want all of that in their city for whatever reason, or um, you'll find it harder to get permits, and it won't be as easy if
Okay, I
the
understand what
local
you're saying.
community isn't okay with something like that. It won't be as easy to get it done.
I wonder, is that what it is? Or is it something else? I just have a hard time, personally, I have a hard time thinking that that would be a problem for J. Cole in North Carolina. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. And this was me just speculating because I don't we don't
No,
know.
no, I know. I'm not
You
saying, oh,
know,
you're definitely wrong. That's not what's happening.
um,
I'm saying, I
it's just a
wonder,
thought I
like,
have.
no, no, hey, listen, and it's not a bad thought because we don't know what's happening after and before Dreamville Fest. They could be doing things, whatever. I don't know. And there could be stuff going on behind the scenes that we didn't hear about. I'm curious though because that's true, right? If you have a festival in your hometown, but everyone who comes is destroying the city, yeah, they're gonna say don't do it. And so I'm not saying that for the listeners and viewers. I'm not saying that is what's happening. I'm responding to Dash's hypothetical. Yeah, that would make it hard for them to then turn around and say, yes, let's give these guys more permits and more security and more blah 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 blah.
Because
So I
after the
hear you,
weekend,
and I wonder, is that part of it?
because after the weekend happens, everybody else goes home and the locals are still there.
Right.
It's still their city. So I do think sometimes that plays a role. I'm not saying that that's happening here. I don't know, but maybe. Um,
Mhm.
I think that was a little bit of made in America. Um, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but I think that was a piece of it. Um, so and then you got people complaining about noise. You got there's tons of things that happen
Yeah.
when there's
Hmm.
an influx of people. Also, and this happens everywhere. There are a lot of things that happen in like major cities or wherever, and one of the things that you'll always hear locals say is, "Well, I'm not going anywhere near there."
Absolutely. I despise being in heavily populated tourism areas because they annoy the living hell out of me.
People who live on Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn leave for the weekend, for Labor Day weekend, and not because it's
You're
Labor
right.
Day weekend, because the West Indian Day Parade happens, and it is a whole weekend of festivities,
No, you're right.
and they don't want to be bothered with all the noise and the hoopla.
My my friend who shall remain nameless at the moment, they say they often leave New Orleans when Mardi Gras happens for those same reasons.
Right.
Yeah.
So it becomes an inconvenience sometimes. Like maybe not the
Mhm.
biggest inconvenience, right? You could just avoid it for a weekend, and you're not put out of your
Oh
way.
yeah, Mardi Gras is a different ballgame.
Well, I know Mardi Gras goes on and on and on and on, but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like stuff like that. I just think you know it's those things happen. Those things are real. Um, and if you piss off locals long enough, they'll let their city council member know, or they'll let
Right.
their governor know. Like it's people don't, but I don't know. I don't know that has anything to do with it. If y'all know what the real reason is, let us know. Put it in the comments. We would love to hear.
Yeah. And we're gonna end it here because we've said enough for today.
We did.
And so we're gonna get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here, watching. listening, subscribing, commenting, all of the things. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. This has been Weeknights.
Bye.